Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, I'm King Nido, and today we're coming in from Ula Ula Island where the Macros are looking to redeem their first loss of the season, but to do so they're gonna have to take down the Viridian Magma, who have gotten their first victory in some time, and they are one of the few sides with a typing advantage over the Macros. So with that said, let us know in the comments below who you think is gonna win this matchup. Will it be the Steel types? Will it be the Ground types? Let's go!
3, 2, 1, go!
Viridian Magma currently sitting in 16th place. They need to bring their best effort to try and take down the Macros as they start out with Iron Treads and Golem. It will be Excadrill and Riverroom starting out for the Ula Ula Macros, and Excadrill with that Mold Breaker ability allowing it to break the mold, but Golem, the Terrestrial Drafty, taking on that Ground Terror typing for the Magma, shedding that Electric Rock typing, and fittingly enough that Crown fits perfectly on top of Golem, but perfect is exactly what the Magma need here today, as the recycle from Iron Treads is going to fail, and this allows Riverroom to go for the Sandsear Storm, but that is going to be avoided by Iron Treads. Gets a great connection there onto Golem, however, and Excadrill is going to follow it up with the Bleak Windstorm. They are going for the double up with these moves, but Iron Treads yet again avoids another attack. Golem, having taken a lot of damage already, is going to respond with a Bleak Windstorm of its own, and it does connect for not very effective damage with both Steel types, but it is able to land those targets. The Bullet Seed follow-up from Iron Treads, fantastically going for Excadrill, capitalizing on that part ground typing that it does have, but it only connects twice. If it had have gotten all 5, that would have been massive damage. Riverroom responding with the Pin Missile, and this doing very little damage. They should know Iron Treads being a part Steel type of its own, tanking every single one of those 3 connections. Excadrill is going to follow it up with the Dragon Rush, but that is avoided yet again by Iron Treads, dodging all these moves, allowing Golem to go for the Ice Hammer, bringing that Ice Hammer down hard onto Excadrill, putting it into knockout range. It does lower the speed of Golem, but it's already the slowest on the field. The Arm Thrust follow-up from Iron Treads going for Riverroom. It is a part poison type, however, so it does prevent it from being super effective. It surely should have gone for Excadrill to try and get that easy elimination, but there are 3 connections there from Iron Treads, as Riverroom does respond with the Shelter. Everyone's been so offensive, but now we have Riverroom boosting its physical defense a great deal, which is base 90. We get the Spite from Excadrill onto Iron Treads, spiting its fellow Steel type, cutting into its PP by 4 there, as Golem is going to go for the Thunderfang, but it goes for Excadrill, who is immune. Golem should know better being on the Magma. Iron Treads, though, is going to go for the Phantom Force, so it's going to vanish from the field instantly. The Macros need to target Golem here. Riverroom goes for the Ice Beam. Very clever, super effective, taking Golem out of this matchup. Excadrill just needs to not do anything reckless that will damage itself and Riverroom at the moment, because it cannot connect with Iron Treads. And it goes for the Shift Gear, a very intelligent play. Excadrill is going to give itself a great speed boost, but also boost that physical attack. That's base 135 in the process, as outcomes have Powder with that Sandstorm ability, kicking up that Sandstorm. Not that anybody in this matchup is going to have to worry about taking damage. And we get the Aromatic Mist from Excadrill, boosting that special defense of Riverroom here, as that Phantom Force is finished off by Iron Treads, gets the critical hit, and more importantly takes that boosted attacking Excadrill out of the matchup. Riverroom, though, with the flip turn, super effective there onto Iron Treads. Riverroom is going to go back to the bench. And out in its place does come Sandy Shocks, who is on the receiving end of the Aura Sphere. Now this won't be super effective because Sandy Shocks hasn't actually terrestrialized yet. Riverroom coming back out onto the field, and now we get Sandy Shocks, who is going to terrestrialize, and it has been a horrifying force for the Ula Ula Macros with that spinning axe crown, truly embracing that Steel typing. It has been a menace and hard to take down for any opposing side, but Iron Treads is going to go for the Dragon Dance, so it is going to boost its physical attack here. That is base 112, as well as boosting its speed. It wants to keep that speed control. Sandy Shocks is going to go for a softball, so immediately it restores the health that was taken from it by that Aura Sphere from Hippowdon, and Riverroom follows it up with the Retaliate onto Iron Treads. Not very effective, they're doing very little damage, and Hippowdon is going to go for the Tachyon Cutter. Gets that first connection there onto Riverroom, gets the second one as well, still getting in some decent damage for that not very effective move, and Iron Treads does follow it up with the Seismic Toss, that consistent damage, putting Riverroom into knockout range. Sandy Shocks, though, with the Fire Blast is going to connect, gets some great damage onto Hippowdon, and Revavroom follows it up with the Synthesis. So now it's going to be the one restoring its health here, and it needs it desperately, having had so much damage done to it. Hippowdon with the Prismatic Laser going for Sandy Shocks, not very effective. It should have tried to go for Revavroom with that part poison typing, but the eruption from Iron Treads super effective on both steel types, putting Revavroom back into knockout range. Sandy Shocks with the Sweet Kiss trying to confuse Iron Treads here on the field, leaving that machine looking Pokemon with those confused emotions, as Revavroom is going to go for the Shadow Punch follow up, trying to take Iron Treads out of this matchup, as Hippowdon does have to recharge, and Iron Treads needs to shake off this confusion or will be doing damage to itself. It is successful in doing so, going with the Sludge Bomb. It must still be confused. It should know better. That will not affect the steel types, and this allows Sandy Shocks to set up for the Solar Blade. It is going to absorb the light on this turn. The Magma needs to take Sandy Shocks out of this matchup, and we get the Bullet Punch from Revavroom, putting Iron Treads into knockout range with that not very effective move. Hippowdon goes for the Hydro Steam, putting Sandy Shocks into knockout range, but it's unable to take it out of the matchup. The Sandstorm does subside. Iron Treads needs to shake off this confusion. It could eliminate itself. It could eliminate anybody, and it does. It takes itself out of this matchup in its confused state, and this is going to allow Sandy Shocks to finish off that Solar Blade, bringing it down hard onto Hippowdon, and it is going to allow it to complete that huge play, giving the Ula Macros a massive lead. This is where they become so dangerous, as Revavroom just needs to not make an error. It goes for the Syrup Bomb. There are no targets to connect with, so it does fail, and it is going to be Garchomp coming out for the Magma, and it is joined by Sandaconda. These two make a fantastic duo, as immediately we get the Torch Song from Garchomp, taking Sandy Shocks out of this matchup and boosting its special attack in the process. They knew that Sandy Shocks is such a massive threat. They took it out as quickly as they could, with Garchomp coming out with that message loud and clear. Revavroom responds with the Spit Up, but it hasn't gone for a stockpile, so that is going to fail, and this allows Sandaconda to go for the conversion. It's going to change its type, and that is a really questionable play, because it has that Spit Up ability and it has become the normal type, and out comes Copperajah for the Ula Macros. Garchomp immediately goes for the Esper Wing onto Copperajah. Not very effective, still gets in some okay damage, but it boosts that speed of Garchomp. It wants to maintain that speed control, as the Water Gun here from Revavroom onto the normal type Sandaconda, so it's not super effective, but does activate that Spit Up ability, and it goes for the Earthquake. This will be super effective on the steel types. It takes out Revavroom, leveling the playing field at 3v3. Massive damage to Copperajah, who responds with the Last Resort, but that is going to fail, and that Sandstorm that was kicked up by that Sand Spit ability, is going to do damage to Sandaconda. As out comes Lucario, we get the Topsy-Turvy from Garchomp, but it does fail. And this allows Lucario to go for the Scratch on to Garchomp, doing a great deal of damage, and Sandaconda is going to go for the Court Change, but there are no entry hazards, so that does fail, allowing Copperajah to go for the Sweet Scent here on the field. Very clever. It is going to lower that evasiveness of both Garchomp and Sandaconda, and Garchomp does have that Sand Veil ability, as Sandaconda is still feeling the effects of that Sandstorm. Garchomp is going to go with the Aerial Ace, putting Copperajah into knockout range with that not very effective move. Lucario is going to go for the Poison Sting onto Sandaconda, who is going to respond with the Slack Off. It is going to restore its health. Very clever play here, because it has lost a decent amount of health, especially from that Sandstorm. The Sacred Sword, though, onto Sandaconda, super effective because of its normal typing there from Copperajah, followed up by that Sandstorm, doing more damage to Sandaconda. Garchomp with the Brick Break in response, they takes Copperajah out of this matchup. The Viridian Magma have just taken the lead. There's two Pokemon remaining for the Macros. Lucario with the Shadow Claw onto Garchomp, not doing a great deal of damage. This allows Sandaconda to go for the Crunch, but Lucario has that Justified ability, so it's going to get a boosted attack even after that critical hit onto Lucario, who has that base 110 physical attack. And out comes Empoleon as the last Pokemon for the Macros. It has that part water typing, but it's immediately on the receiving end of the foul play from Garchomp. Gets a decent hit. Lucario with the Psy Shield Bash, and Sandaconda is able to hang on as Lucario gets a physical defense boost. Sandaconda is going to go with the Zen Head, but they do not want to contend with the part water type. It's not very effective though. Onto Empoleon, who is going to go for the Night Slash, focusing on Garchomp, which is going to allow that Sandstorm to take out Sandaconda, is what I'd be saying if the Sandstorm didn't just subside. Garchomp with the bite, not very effective, and yet again they activate that justified ability boost in the attack of Lucario, but it's flinched. Lucario has flinched, that is crucial. This allows Sandaconda to go for the Shadow Force, so it is going to vanish from the field instantly, so it is not going to be taken out by Empoleon, who goes for the Water Gun, and it does go for Sandaconda, so it's able to avoid that attack. This allows Garchomp to capitalize by going with the Draining Kiss. They are still focusing in on Empoleon, even with these not very effective moves. Garchomp is able to get a little bit of health restore, but Lucario has that double boosted attack. It could capitalize if it goes for Garchomp, goes for the Acid Spray, but it goes for Sandaconda, who's able to avoid another attack, and this allows that Shadow Force to be completed, and it goes for Empoleon, and Empoleon is eliminated from this matchup. A perfect play by the Viridian Magma. Garchomp needs to focus in here, goes with the Mist. It's not going on the offensive. They need to take out Lucario quick because it does have that double boosted attack. Lucario is going to go for the Astonish on to Garchomp here, which keeps Sandaconda in this matchup, allowing it to go for the tea time. They are taking a break. The Magma looking to regroup, and whilst they're regrouping, and I try and catch my breath, if you are enjoying what you are seeing, please leave a like, share, subscribe. Help the PokeType League and this channel grow for many seasons to come, because this is so much fun to make and so much fun to share with all of you. As Lucario finishes tearing down on its Slipper Berry, Garchomp is going to go for the Hyper Voice. Gets in a great connection with that not very effective move. Lucario, though, is going to respond with the Giga Drain onto Sandaconda. It doesn't take much health, but it takes the remainder of it, and Lucario can do with any health that it can get back. But that Sand Spit ability has yet again been activated, kicking up that Sandstorm, and yet again Garchomp loving it with that Sand Veil ability, as out comes Toedscruel as the last Pokemon for the Viridian Magma. We get the Cotton Spore from Garchomp. It is going to lower that speed a great deal of Lucario, but that doesn't matter because with that Mycelium Might, Toedscruel is always going to move last, and with that Wing Attack, Lucario takes out Garchomp. It could take down the 3 Magma. Toedscruel needs to go for something big. It goes for the triple axle. Connects with the first one, does very little damage. Connects with the second one, does a little bit more damage. Connects with the third, not very effective, putting Lucario into knockout range, but Lucario is able to respond with the Coil. It is going to boost its accuracy and boost that attack for the 3rd time in this matchup, also boosting that defense, but it needs to connect with something big as we get our first time warning. Toedscruel with the Mystical Fire. This will be super effective, and it gets the elimination. The Viridian Magma have defeated the Ula Macros. What has happened? The Macros have just lost 2 games in a row, and this is fantastic for the Viridian Magma. Talk about a confidence boost. They were able to work their way back into this and move their way up to 10th place, as next round they will be going up against the Pewter Skulls. Whereas for the Macros, they still are in 1st place, but next round they will be going up against the Montana Verisylphs. I cannot wait for that one, but until then, Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on field, and if you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like, share, subscribe, but more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I'll see you when you see me.